Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol na'eh b'dbarei. Chaim, chaim, chaim v'racha. All right. Look at or how much light out over here yet? Chaim. Okay. So the first theme of this mimer is that there are three stages, and only the third stage, which is the second stage of Mashiach, is the ultimate redemption through peace. Because the ultimate redemption through peace is taking all negativity and transforming it. Transforming all negativity where there's no opposition to the divine. That's the ultimate. Right. Even though in the days of King Solomon, he waged no wars, nations of the world came to submit, like leaders, to his rule. But they weren't fundamentally transformed. When they came to Jerusalem, they were affected. Oh, this is a nation of God, and so on. So, they were transformed, but refined, but back in their own home, they weren't, right? Why? Because what happened is that metaphorically, a ray of light shines upon them, and therefore it's only a ray of light. Well, a ray of light is only when you have that ray, but not the essence of light. And therefore they're not transformed. But in times of the second stage of Mashiach, where the essence of the light of God will be revealed, so it means wherever you are, it's transformational. It will be transformational. Chaim, chaim. Even the first stage of Mashiach may come speedily, right? Where the nature of the world, the nature of the world remains, except that in the nature of the world, there'll be a revelation of, of Hashem to such a degree that there won't be any wars. I mean, again, we experienced that in the times of King Solomon. But it'll even be greater in the times of the first time period of Mashiach, because in the times of King Solomon, it was only if you came and saw the light of God in Jerusalem, you were like, whoa. Here the light of God will be. Oh, Monica, welcome. Will be revealed everywhere. It may come soon. Yes. The light of God will be revealed everywhere in a manner that the nature of the world will be as is. But it's almost like we, what we're trying to do with our learning over here is to trying to change the way we would naturally look at the world. As you know, naturally we look at the world as death and taxes, right? So some people try to cheat taxes, and we try to cheat death. Right? We do all things, we're going to try to get around it. Inevitable. Imagine changing that the nature of the world so that doesn't have to have war. Even though Israel's fighting a war right now, and a just war, and 100%, and it needs to, it has no choice. But as I said many times, that's not truly who we are. We're fighting only a war in order to protect that which is dear and precious to us, our families, our communities, our people, a nation. But really who we are, people, we want peace. We want not just peace, we want that everybody should have. Imagine a world where everybody has. Now we have haves and have-nots. Imagine everybody has, and therefore there's no reason to be greedy because you got. Now, the reason why you won't be greedy, because in the end, there's haves and have more, and those who have more, but you won't be greedy because the presence of the light of God will be so real and palpable within the nature of the world, is that will lead us, it's like you're very happy and satisfied, which is like, whoa. And not only that, you're even happy that someone else has, and maybe even has more than you. The only thing you won't be happy with is that you want to have more of the light of God, meaning a deeper connection, a more spiritual connection, right? The material, as Maimonides Rambam says, will be ka'afa da'ara, will be like dust of the earth, meaning it'll be so plentiful and we will treat it like dust. Wow. Can you imagine? Meaning it's insignificant to who and what I am. The materiality as an end in itself. It'll be insignificant. Now, so the point I want to bring out over here is that it's so counterintuitive. What do you mean we're going to be in a world where everything that I have is sufficient, and I'm happy that you have even more, and the only thing that I'm sort of yearning for is a deeper connection? The truth is, if you break down everybody in their personal lives, you'll see that that's what they want, but there's a confusion in how you get that. There's a confusion. Excuse me, it's getting warm in here. I don't know if it's the coffee. I don't know if it's the hot coffee or the warmth of the teachings. L'chaim. L'chaim, l'chaim. No, no. So we compared these three time periods to three dimensions of study of Torah. There's a study of Torah that deals with the do's and the things that we need to do and the things that are prohibited from doing. The revealed parts of the Torah that are, the way to conduct and behave on a daily basis in the mitzvahs that we need to fulfill. This is how you keep Shabbos. This is how you pray. The laws and how you pray. This is the laws of the holiday, and so on and so forth. And it deals with the material reality of the world because it needs, through that, to refine the material reality the way it is a subject matter in Torah. So it brings a refinement. So, for example, it'll also bring a refinement to areas of, where we started now in Rambam, and my mind is learning the laws of murder. I mean, think about it. Wow. God's wisdom speaks about the laws of murder. Just, not to murder, right? And you get down into the nitty-gritty of what's engaged in that. You would think, holiness has just got to do with sort of a more spiritual level and got nothing to do, with dealing with a murderer. Now, the law is not dealing with the murderer itself, dealing with the law of the murderer in Torah and what's the parameters of the law. And through that, we bring a refinement to that reality. We bring a refinement to the claims of the murderer, the counterclaims, and all of that becomes now what divine teachings. Then we have a deeper level of Torah learning. And that's where we're intellectually, we deal with knowing God. Knowing God. Wow. What does that mean? Can you know God? Yeah. Only when he lets you know him. Take a human being. Can you know another human being? Yeah, you can watch their actions. But do you know them from their actions? Yes, something you know about them. How much do you know about them? Maybe limited, unless they open up to you. Same thing as with God. Can you know God through his actions? Yeah. He created a world. Through that world, you can know him. You can know him. But that's an outsider's view. That's an outsider's view. What God does with the Torah, with the inner dimension of Torah, he has revealed the inner dimension of God himself. And he makes that privy to us. He lets us know him. Again, like someone who you know intimately, right? Not only from their actions, but you know what's going on, what their feelings are, what their thoughts are, what their struggles are, and so on. You have a deep connection with them. God gives us, but God can only give that to us. We can't get that on our own. To see God with the fingerprint of God in the world, that we can. But that's only knowing what he does. It's not knowing him. Knowing him, he makes himself privy. He allows himself to be known. It's a vulnerability when you think about it, when a person does it, right? When they share. So God says on an inner dimension that, this really touches me and this repulses me. As a person shares that with you, right? And you get much more deeply aware. And this is why this is repulsive. This is why this is something that I love. And now, how do you get to know that person? Intellectually, right? Of course, that can feed your emotions and feed the way you'll behave to them and so on. And that is what we're learning now in Chassidus is the knowledge of God himself. But it's an awareness that we have that's in our minds that we can now have a connection to God in the mind's eye of God's realness and presence and in my life and in the world. But then there's a deeper. It's not that I just know. but I actually perceive God, not just in my mind's eye, but in the physical eye. I have this perception of him. I'm not exactly certain how that would be in human relationships. I'm not certain how to give that metaphor. Um, but to hmm, I don't know if there is a good, I can't think of a good metaphor, and I haven't found one where God's realness is not just in your mind's eye that you understand and know him like a person, right? That they open up to you and now you really know them because this second level is not just knowing intellectually, but it's the presence of God is palpable and real in everything in the world. So that's not just knowing God, right? That's that his presence. I don't know if that can be with another human being that they're palpably present, have a deeper connection to the character versus personality. What do you mean by that, Monica? I hear you. Character versus personality. You mean character, mean the depth of the character. But here it's like everywhere you turn, everything. Maybe, okay, you know what? Thank you for that. Maybe that's not an idea. And then tell me what you think. Um, the you can you have someone that you um care and love for. Just give me a brief second. Sorry. Give me a second. Know what happened to everybody? Oh la la. Sorry. Um, so imagine someone who's so dear to you and you, whatever, everywhere you go, you see their presence. Every encounter you have, you see them. I think that happens with um, a spouse that you've lived with for so many years, right? And you're so deeply connected, and then they're gone, but yet they're real to you in their presence. Wherever you go, you turn here, oh, their presence is there. There's, and you feel the connection with them there. You have a conversation with somebody, and it just you think of that not in a bad way, like oh, I'm missing them even. Of course, you're missing them, but that goes with. But I mean to say is that there's such a they're palpably real in in being there. Not that they're gone, obviously gone physically, right? Because how could it be that you can feel another person's palpable presence everywhere you go? Usually it's in love songs because you're missing the person or you're longing, right? So you're missing the connection. Here is you're having the connection and seeing the connection in everything. That how's that sound? So imagine living your life and in everything you engage, you see it as a palpable connection to God. That his realness is there. It's not like, faded away, not distant, not just intellectually you get it in your mind, and you understand him like you understand that person who opens up to you and is vulnerable to you, and then you get them, right? That's all in your mind. Here's much deeper. The presence of that person is everywhere for you. Maybe that would be. Anyways, I have to stop over here because we've got services, and we'll continue it around 8:45 or 8:50, Homish and Rashi, and then 9:30 Tanya. We'll see you. Thank you, folks. I hope there was some clarity there. Monica, thank